So for today's video, we're going to discuss this topic I covered last week regarding the PlayStation 5's release date, but we've got a new insight on the matter right now. First, let me know in the comments how you'd feel if the PlayStation 5 got delayed to early 2021. If Sony gave you a legitimate reason for the delay, would you be accepting or upset that they announced the release time frame so far in advance? So comment below if you'd be upset or accepting if Sony delayed the PlayStation 5 to early 2021. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, diving into this video, last week we spoke about the coronavirus and its possible impact on the production of the PlayStation 5 as well as Microsoft's next Xbox. I got some flack for it, but it was a very reasonable conversation, and not long after, many websites and other YouTubers covered the topic as well. Right now, we're going to look at an analyst's perspective of the whole situation. Michael Pachter is not someone I usually cover, but reading over his statement on this matter, it makes logical sense and aligns with some of what I said in my last video. Website Techradar spoke with Michael Pachter regarding the virus, and this is what he had to say. He started off talking about Apple's iPhone production because that's been coming up in the news because of the Foxconn statement, which I covered in my last video on this topic and comparing their situation with Sony and Microsoft. He stated, Apple doesn't really have a realistic manufacturing alternative because of the complexity of the assembly, many components, very high specs, relatively high cost. In contrast, Xbox and PlayStation don't have to be produced in China, but obviously that is the lowest cost country. I also mentioned this in my last video going over this topic, over Sony's possible alternatives for production, because while China does produce a lot for them, they don't only rely on one place for production of their consoles. Michael went on to say, if coronavirus lasts through June, it will be a problem for Microsoft and Sony. It's possible that it lasts that long, but the stock market tells you that it's not the case. If it were, the market would be tanking because of the long-term disruption of the supply chain. I also personally assume that production for the consoles will be happening sometime in the summer, but I'll say this, both me and probably Michael as well don't actually know when they'd start production. That's still in Sony and Microsoft's hands, obviously. But to continue, Michael stated, I could see Apple panicking if coronavirus is still an issue in a month, but I still think Sony and Microsoft will quietly arrange for production in Taiwan and Vietnam at a cost of maybe $5 to $10 per unit more at most, just to be safe. I don't know what they plan to do, but presume they are giving serious thought about shifting half their production to Taiwan or Vietnam to fulfill US demand. This goes back again to Sony having alternatives in terms of production. Based on what Michael has stated, if this virus still goes on past next month, Sony and Microsoft could start moving production to other places, but their most costly effective location is China, so I personally believe they'd still hold out to see if that situation is resolved soon. But you guys let me know. Do you think Sony and Microsoft will move production elsewhere, or are they willing to wait a bit longer to see how the situation unfolds in China? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now, I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, harass, and overall destroy the comment section with prayers up for China. Because while we are excited for reveals, we're excited for the final release of these consoles, we gotta understand that there are people actually dealing with this serious situation over in China. And just like in my last video, in this video we're gonna throw another prayer up for them as well. So if you feel the same way, destroy the comment section with prayers up for China, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.